Hey, hey, Arrow's Edge community, just coming to you this week with your training. I have got a good friend and client of mine that is going to come and tell her story. So I suggest you tune in. She has got some powerful things to say. I cannot wait to hear what she has to say. So, hey, let's just jump right in. This is Amy. She is a photographer, an entrepreneur, a super mom, and a whole bunch of other things. Amy, tell us just 1 minute about yourself.
Yeah. So, like Rebecca said, I'm a photographer. I've been doing that for about 13 years. I focus on children, family, and then helping like businesses get some great, branding shots. I also just started a mobile photo booth. So, I'm all about just capturing fun memories. Pictures are really important to me. I think they're really important memories to remember and capture throughout the years. And it's been fun to actually do even a photo shoot with Rebecca and just planning more photo shoots down the line with her. But that's pretty much what I do, and I'm very blessed to get to do what I love. I pinch myself all the time, so yes, I love it so much.
That's awesome. So you're in Indiana. So if you are in Indiana and you are looking for a great photographer, where can they get a hold of you at?
That you can give me a call on my phone 317-446-7174, or you can get on the website. It is www.amesstudios.com. You can find all the info on there. You can see different galleries, different photos that I've done, but I'd love to hear from you. You can shoot me a message and we can chat and brainstorm something that you're wanting, and hopefully we can connect.
Awesome, awesome. I highly suggest. She is as fun can be to work with. And if you're all kind of self conscious, it just disappears because she carries such a great presence about her. So, all right, let's jump right in and share your heart. I just got a couple of questions for you. Let's start with this one. And don't laugh too loud when I say it, but what's it like working with me?
This is kind of hard to put in a nutshell because it's been such a life-changing experience for me. I've had so many different coaches I've worked with, trainings. I'm a fixer, so I'm all about like finding whatever the problem is, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to solve it. So I've spent countless amounts of money and time on different trainings, and I've never experienced a transformation like I have with Rebecca. There's been actual change happening in my heart and my life. I'm seeing the worksheets and trainings and activities that I do, like actually producing fruit in my life. And I think that's an absolute testament to the way Rebecca coaches, the way that she carries herself, the advice that she gives. The thing I appreciate the most, because I've worked with a lot of different people that sometimes they don't really hold you accountable. You're paying the money and they kind of want to tell you what you want to hear. And that's never been good for me because I'm someone that I want you to just tell it to me how it is straight. Tell me what I need to do to change, even if it's offensive or hard to hear. And I have appreciated that so much about Rebecca. There have been times she's called me out, toxic things that I'm saying or behaviors, and she's like, "We're not going to do that. We're going to stop that right now." She didn't allow those kind of behaviors to happen, and she kind of called it out right then. And some people could get offended by that, but I loved that so much because I felt like we just kind of like got to the quick of the problem, and we were able to work on other things more effectively because we already got to the root of the issue and dealt with it right then and there. So, of anything that I appreciate the most about Rebecca, it's her straightforwardness, but she has such a gentleness and love. The way she comes across to call you out in such a loving, Holy Spirit filled way. In a toxic behavior that you're showing, and there were things that I didn't even realize about myself that were toxic that I had just been doing for years and years that Rebecca instantly saw in me and said, "This has got to stop. This is continuing these problems, and you're not seeing victory in these areas because you're still continuing to stay in a toxic mindset." So that to me was the turnkey moment of really seeing change, and hearing my husband say, because we've spent so much money that we don't have on trainings and coachings, and he is so, when I met Rebecca, he's like, "Oh my gosh, here we go again." Here's another one that I'm like, "This is the one, this is going to change my life." And he was really leery, but I remember him saying to me, like, wow, I have never seen as much change in you as I've seen, and consistent change, because I can be a very, very negative person. And he was really starting to see that stopping and me being more positive, or finding myself, like, catching myself being negative and stopping and doing the things that I needed to do to notice it and work on it. So I think my husband, he could give a huge testimony as well, just how much change he's seen in me in the months and months that we've worked together. And it's been really profound. And it's started my life in a trajectory that I wish that I could have started years ago, but this is God's timing and God's plan. And I believe that God brought us together for a purpose. And she has been very instrumental in being something that's caused some tremendous growth in my life. And I'm so, so grateful.
Yeah, Amy, you've come a long way really fast. It's just a couple of short months. It really is. And all of a sudden, I see you walking through really difficult circumstances, but doing it empowered and doing it in peace. And I have just seen you grow immensely as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur and a businesswoman. I'm incredibly proud of you, honestly. God has done so much in your heart, and just you're really stepping into everything you're called to be. So tell me a little bit more about what's the biggest thing you've learned in this season, uh, as far as what you've been working through, and what was your greatest breakthrough?
You hear it so many times. Coaches talk about it. You see it, mindset, mindset, mindset. And I think our culture is so, like, attracted to this right now that it truly is your mindset. And when whatever you're thinking, and it's the same thing, the people that we spend our time with, the things that we think, the things that we consume is what we become. And we can start to get into a habit of maybe making excuses for certain things, or saying, oh, that's not a big deal, and wondering why we're still continuing to be a certain way. But mindset for me, when, Rebecca kind of pulled back the onion layers and helped me to see the different ways I was thinking, it was kind of a light bulb moment for me to see, well, because of this is why this is happening. So this thinking pattern has to stop before we can ever even get to change. And I think that's why I never really saw any growth, because I didn't want to do this part over here. I wanted to just tell me what I need to do. 1 + 1 = 2. I want to be over here. I don't want to be stuck anymore. But it doesn't work like that. You have to do the exercises that Rebecca had me do every single day, taking the time to put the energy into that, and building, like Rebecca will say, building the different pathways in your brain. When we start habits and we do certain things, when you do them after an extended period of time, then it becomes a natural thing to do. And when we're trying to change how we are, it doesn't feel natural, and it's hard. And we kind of resist things that are hard. Our culture is one that is just like easy, you want it quick, you want it fast. And to get change, that's not how it's going to work. So it really is mindset. And I know that's what so many people say, but when you truly work on that and you find the different areas, and we all have different mindset issues. It's not a one size fits all for everyone. We all have different trauma and different, relationship issues, experiences that will trigger certain mindsets. And Rebecca was able to reveal to me, with different family issues, different experiences. I have chronic health issues, just different, and even issues that I had with God the Father, just kind of pulling all those different issues out that were creating these mindsets in my mind, and revealing to me truth about that was very pivotal to me kind of finally coming to the conclusion. And that's the biggest part too. Rebecca can give you all the tools, but you have to be willing to step up to the plate and do the hard work. And I don't know that I was really ready up until this point to look it in the face and see what I needed to do, and start making those changes. And I was really ready at this point. I believe that God had prepped me and made me ready to do that. So your mindset is so, so important, and is very key to being able to see the change and move forward into the power that God has for you, for sure.
I love what you said about that. Just tell me what to do. I am that type of personality as an entrepreneur and a mom myself. It's like, just tell me what to do. I want to get it over with. But what we don't realize is, and what's really beneficial about coaching to begin with is, I'm not here to tell you what to do.
Mm.
I'm here to pull out the potential in you, and then you get to tell you what to do. And
Yes.
it's self-discovery is the greatest level of learning, and it's the longest lasting. If you're just listening to somebody talk, that's the lowest level of learning. You're not really going to retain it. But when you figure it out yourself and you put your own action steps into place and you choose to change how you're relating to God and choose how you're relating to people, you become empowered and victorious to be, you're in charge of your life. You are taking responsibility. That's one thing I've always loved working with you is you are taking responsibility for yourself. You're ready to invest in yourself. You're ready to follow through. And I get to just sit back and just draw out that amazing gold that's always been there to begin with. So I have had an incredible time. Tell me about maybe just one more thing of like you were talking about unforgiveness a lot and unforgiveness with others and unforgiveness with yourself. What kind of process happened with you to bring you into victory on that case?
Honestly, I think this is something that Rebecca, just the type of prayer that Rebecca has brought into my life, and realizing my relationship with God the Father, which was probably the root issue of it, that my unforgiveness first started with God. And it trickled down to all other areas of my life. But I had a resentment, a deep, deep resentment in the things that have happened in my life, the things that God had allowed, and the way that I viewed it and the way that I viewed God. And Rebecca really pushed me in that area to really kind of dig into that and see why I was feeling that way, and seeing that that was a really, really pivotal part to keeping me from growth. That if I could not heal my relationship with God the Father and be able to have a clear pathway for him to speak to me, I wasn't going to be able to get victory in these other areas. And I still have a long way to go. And I think this is life learning. We don't ever just reach a point, God, until takes us out of here. I think we are going to grow and learn. But I think starting to be willing to having those conversations and sharing my heart with God and saying, I think growing up in a Christian home, I think I said those curated prayers to God, and I didn't feel like I could really say what I was feeling. Like David said in the Psalms, like, I'm angry at you. I'm upset that you've allowed me to be sick most of my whole life and you haven't healed me and you're not sending me answers. God wants to hear that. He wants to hear our hearts. And I think giving me the permission to say those things to God, and him wanting to hear that and loving me, was really healing. That was a really healing part of my journey with Rebecca, and feeling God's love in a way that I've not ever really allowed him to give to me. He was always there. He was willing to give it, but I was not ready to receive it. And I have a lot of family relationships that have a lot of unforgiveness and deep-seated things. And it really started to kind of, when I started to heal my relationship with God the Father, it helped me to view my other family relationships in a different way and be a little bit more open-minded and just take control of my part of it and not theirs. Because Rebecca showed me a lot that I was carrying a lot of other people's baggage and trying to fix their problems, which was again putting so much burden on me emotionally, physically, spiritually. And I was carrying things that I was not meant to carry. Which was, I think, contributing to a lot of my health issues as well, just the stress that I was carrying of other people that I wasn't meant to carry. So that was just getting some tools that she gave me and opening my eyes to some different things in regards to unforgiveness, that it's not just like, okay, I forgive you, because that's just a word. If you don't really mean it in your heart and you're not really breaking that down and understanding what it is, then you're just going to move forward and continue in the same pattern and not really forgive that person, and then create more and more resentment in your heart. And that's kind of where she kind of ripped the scales off my eyes in regards to that, to see that I wasn't really working on forgiveness. I was just kind of putting a Band-Aid over it, saying I forgive you, but I really don't. I still am very, very upset with you. And there was no growth happening. I was just still kind of moving forward like a zombie, and not really being aware of what was happening to me. So that was a really big pivotal part in understanding what forgiveness was in my life and what it needed to look like.
That was an amazing breakthrough. I think that was one of the single most important breakthroughs in your life. There is so much to this story, guys. We only have so much time, but I just want to say this to you. I think that the fact of what God is doing is so neat because Amy was a total stranger to me. We totally connected. And now it's like a client who became a friend. And if you look at my pictures, all the like some of the pictures of me in our feed in the Arrows Edge Leaders Collective group, those were taken by her. We met up, did the 5-hour drive, and that's what's really fun is when you can, do all this heart work and hard work, come out victorious, and we're both blessed in the process, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, one last question for you before we close out for today. What would you tell people who are right now considering signing up with Arrow's Edge program?
The thing I love about Rebecca is it's not a one size fits all. The thing that I love is the Holy Spirit reveals so much to her. And I think because I am very prophetic and Rebecca even showed that to me, we had that connection that the Spirit reveals to her the areas in your own specific life that she needs to dig into. So this is not just like you do step 1, 2, and 3 and then you're healed. Rebecca really digs in with the areas that you want to grow in. And I think for me too, like I had always done, and she helped me to understand like the difference between a coach and like a trainer and different things like that. And I had started this like wanting to grow my business. And I thought my issues were if I just make more money, then all my other problems will go away. And that was such a big pivotal moment for me that Rebecca was helping to understand if you don't get your life in order, and the issues that you have spiritually, emotionally, physically, your business, whatever areas you're trying to grow in are never going to grow. They're going to continue to stay stagnant. You're not going to grow into this powerful person that you need to be. So I think Rebecca kind of digs down to really what your issue is. You may come in here thinking it's a certain thing, but she kind of digs down a lot deeper to figure out, no, this is actually something you came in here for is completely different than what you really need to actually work on in your life. Maybe you're extremely unhealthy and you really need to dig in and learn what eating healthy, exercising, what that looks like for your life, that if you don't get your health back, your business isn't going to grow. You're not going to have better relationships with your family because your health is failing. So I love that she takes your own specific plans and goals and she really, really digs down deep to give you the answers. And she gives you solutions and she gives you exercises that, I don't have a ton of time. I'm extremely busy and I have never felt that the things that she has me work on were a waste of my time. They were always worth my time. And I felt very specific things that happened from it. When I did what she asked me to do, I saw movement in my goals. I saw things that I was trying to work on get better. So I will say that too. If you're coming in this skeptical and you're like, I don't have a lot of time, I don't have a lot of money, it is worth both of those things. This has been a sacrifice financially for me to do this, and I do it 100 times over because the growth and experience that I've had in my life, I can't put a price tag on it. It's been so life-changing. And if I could just tell all of you, do it now, push the button, book the coaching, do it because you will not regret it. It has been, I wish, like I said, I had found her years and years ago because it's just been the best thing that's ever happened in my life. And I'm so excited to continue to work with her. There are more things that I want to work on. There are more goals that I want to, keep attacking and getting better at. But she is very, very special, very gifted, unlike any coach I've ever seen. And I love the spiritual guidance that she has in that, because that is obviously, the Lord is the most important thing to me. And that was something that drew me to her as well too. Having someone that came at it from a biblical, spiritual perspective, was really, really important and profound to me, that I wanted to do. So yeah, book her now, guys. Do it now.
Oh, thank you, Amy. I just celebrate all that God has done between us and partnering together and watching you step more fully into your identity. You're being intentional. You're doing life on purpose. And because of that, I'm watching you fulfill that God given destiny. I love that Magnolia Rose camper, that your photo booth is beautiful. Y'all have to just check that out. She has come so far, so fast. And for me, it's just look what God has done.
Amen.
Beautiful. So, you guys, comment below. Comment and cheer and root Amy on for all that God has done, and also just comment below what's one action step you can take out of what we were talking about today. We were talking about unforgiveness, how important our mindsets are, why it's important to really invest in yourself, to really work on these things before you try to work on your business, because it sets you up for success. Such amazing things that we've been talking about today. So thanks for tuning in. If you are interested, please message me. We're ready to talk. And if you are interested to hook up with Amy for an amazing, fun photo shoot, especially even branding for your businesses, I know some of you are entrepreneurs out there. Just comment below, and Amy's also a group member, and she will see you as well. So bless you guys. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Bye.